Alrighty, hello and welcome everyone. Whoops, turn that down. Don't know why that's doing that. I have got Alan with me. I'm going to be jumping into that in a second. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alan, how are you, mate? I've lost Alan right on cue. Unbelievable. He was literally in here. I'm not sure where he has gone. Actually, no, he's there. My bad. There he is. Sorry, Alan, I've clicked the wrong screen. You're on screen. I was like, he's gone. No, he's not. He's still in here.
Cheers, mate. Cheers, mate. I'm only getting up at 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning to, be here, and you're just already trying to get rid of me.
How you been anyway? It's been 2 weeks. How's FPL been treating you?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad. I can't complain. This week's been a good week for me.
It has. It's been better for you than me.
Really poorly. I know, mad. I used my triple captain really poorly at the start of the season on Haaland. So I didn't even have the opportunity to use it this week, which is when I should be using it. But I'm still doing all right for points. So, yeah, can't complain. Life's good.
It's really interesting because a lot of people have actually played their triple captain. I think the split in terms of triple captain versus assistant manager, there was 1.1 million triple captainers, and I think there was 1.2, almost 1.3 assistant manager chips active this week. Obviously, if you've got the assistant manager active, it means you have to have it active in 25 and 26 as well. So the next 2 weeks, I've got it active. I can't use any other chip. But the triple captain's looking really good this week. I mean, lots of people played it on Mo Salah, and he didn't disappoint in the first game.
Yeah, I mean, he done the job, didn't he? He done the job. Triple captains and double game weeks and all those kind of things, they can make such a difference to your ranking. And I'm just really pleased for all the people that went with Liverpool and that triple captain Salah, because he's come through for them. So it could be some good scores coming through. That's it.
I sit there and look at it and go, at the moment, I'm not too disappointed. Mo Salah obviously has 16 points, and originally I was going to play it on him until they announced his double game week 25, which is on your screens. And hopefully, Alan, I haven't accidentally disabled it for you, but I'm just going to double check that I haven't. And I have disabled it for you, so I'll fix that now. There you go. You can see what I'm looking at. So double game week 25. That was the reason why I ended up changing my mind and not playing the triple captain on Salah and played the assistant manager chip instead, because I wanted the double. And so at the moment, it's the plan so far has been pretty good. David Moyes got a massive win. I did not expect Everton to win 4-0 against Leicester, but I'll take it. And obviously then Bournemouth against Liverpool, that went, well, we expected Liverpool to have a tough game, and Bournemouth actually created a lot of XG in this game, hit the post and probably missed a couple of chances they probably should have taken. But Liverpool ended up prevailing. So Slot versus Moyes at the moment is 10 versus 12. Moyes in front. I'm actually quite happy about that.
Moyes is doing all right, isn't he?
He's been good, man. He's been really good. I just can't believe he got 12 points.
I know. And when we were talking about the assistant manager chip first, when it was first released and stuff, obviously we didn't know about Moyes, but Everton weren't a team you were talking about. We were talking about, Man United, and we were talking about other teams. But Everton could be the one, mate. Yeah,
they've just been so good. I just can't believe how good they've actually been. Moyes is actually getting a new manager bounce. Legit, he's actually getting a new manager bounce.
Yeah. Maybe it's because he was at the club before. He probably knows, he's not got that period of settling in. Do you know what I mean? Where he's trying to get to know everyone and do everything and how things work. He knows it. He's been there before. He's been there for a long time. Do you know what I mean? So he can just hit the ground running.
Yeah, that's it. I just look at David Moyes. He goes to Everton, right? And Everton can't look at their attackers. They're not very good attackers, right? But yet they're scoring more goals than Man United. Why did Man United get no new manager bounce under Emery? Can you tell me why? Are we just that bad that we're just...
Do you know what? There seems to be something at Man United, this sort of toxic environment or whatever's going on in the background. Do you know what I mean? It's you know, look at Ronaldo. Ronaldo's like the best player in the world. Like, and even he went there and was like, yeah, like this place is like not good. Like, get me out, and left. Do you know what I mean? Like, so you could have the best players in the world, but I think he said his analogy was saying, if you've got a fish in a tank and it gets sick, you can take the fish out of the tank and get it better. But if you put it back in the tank again, it's going to get sick again. Do you know what I mean? So it's not about the players, it's about the environment they're in. And until you sort all that stuff out, things ain't going to change. And I think there's obviously something fundamentally going wrong at Man United. So, you know, they need to look at it. You shouldn't be that low in the table. Man United, a big club like Man United, should not be that low in the table.
The thing is that there's nothing to play for in the league either. Like, they're 13th at the moment. It could be 12th. It's either 12th or 13th. I forgot. I've just stopped looking at the table because it just doesn't make for pretty reading. But essentially, like, they're not going to surge into European places on their league form. They can't win more than one game in a row. They can't win at Old Trafford. Yeah. They're a cup team. They've literally become a cup team. That's all they've got.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane. I mean, yeah, you're 13th in the league. Like, you're 13th in the league. And all it takes is another loss. You know, a win for Everton, a win for West Ham. You know, and then you're sliding down again. You know, will Tottenham be able to recover? Will they get a win? We don't know, but I mean, you two are just in the mud at the moment.
We are,
and your big clubs. I mean, your big clubs, like, it's worrying.
We've got our first comment of the day from Semenyao. Outside of Rodgers, who would you request from Villa, or who would you suggest, from Villa for the double game week? And will Rashford shine like Jesse Lingard did at West Ham?
Oh, what a great question.
That's a good question.
Look, this is it for Rashford now. This is it. Like, you know, he is a good player. You know, I don't know what was going on for him at Man United, but you know, this is his time to have a fresh start, to go to a club like Villa and just start smashing the goals.
Yeah.
You know, let's see what happens. I mean, it would be worth it. I think it's worth a punt to put it on Rashford and see what happens.
Yep, that's it. Oh, sorry, just pulling that back up. Yeah, I actually, like, my line of thinking is, if Rashford doesn't perform here at Aston Villa, his career is done. Like, he's not going to get picked up by anyone. He has to perform. He wants to go to like a Barcelona or an AC Milan. Well, they want to see that he can actually still play, because Ruben Amorim basically said, you don't adapt to my team, nick off. You're on stupid money. We don't want you anymore. So I just think that if he doesn't perform here, I think his career is actually done. Like, I can't see any other route. He'll end up going to like Leicester under Ruud van Nistelrooy, because that's all that will be left.
I think what it is, it's very similar to like Conor McGregor and all these top fighters. You know, they say it's very hard to stay hungry when you're waking up in silk sheets or something. You know, like when you're really comfortable, when you've made it, when you're earning all that money, do you really want to be going out and getting punched in the face and beaten up every day? Probably not. Like, and I think it's probably similar for some of these footballers. Like, when you're on 300 bags a week,
it's such a lot of money.
Do you really want to be getting up and going to training and putting in 120% and staying late and doing the laps and doing basically doing the work? Do you want to do the work? Because what we see in terms of them coming on to the pitch and playing matches, that's a small part of the work. They're at training all week. So, you know, the managers, the coaches, they're seeing them all week and the effort and stuff they're putting in. And if they're being lazy and not putting it in, they're just not going to play them. Simple as that.
Exactly.
You know, because if you're not doing it at training, why are you going to do it? Are you going to do it in a game? It's like, that's it. So obviously for Rashford, I think it was a case of he wasn't putting in the effort in training. You know, he's got his 300 bags a week. He's like, well, you know, I'm comfortable. And there's more hungry people. So hopefully it's a wake-up call for him, and he can go to Villa and he can go there and prove a point, because like you said, he's done. If he can't do it at Villa, he's done. So if he really wants to go off to a Barcelona or a big club, he's got to prove himself. He's got to put the work in.
That's it. We'll just say hello to Leo. He's just joined the chat. He's just said hello. What's up? Hello. Had a happy Saturday. It's not a deadline stream, but we're just talking all things FPL and a good catch up with Alan. I haven't caught up with him in a couple of weeks, so it's a great time to do it on a Saturday, and we're both slightly free. I'm a bit more fresher than Alan. I'm actually 4 cans into CC now, though, Alan, so I'm probably joining you pretty soon.
Are you? Rascal, what time is it over there?
It's like 5:12 in the afternoon, so...
Oh, that's an acceptable time. That's an acceptable time.
I miss coming over at 9 o'clock in the morning with the bottle of vodka and the water.
Perfect. Yeah. I can't say that I miss it because it goes very left when you start cracking a bottle of vodka at 9 in the morning.
That's it. Hi, Mickey. How are you?
I was out with Adam last night. We had a couple of drinks last night and ended up going for a Chinese, which was lovely, but it was a bit later than expected.
Now I have to talk because we're talking about David Moyes versus Arne Slot at the moment. And last week this was the hot topic. Lots of people came in this chat and were wondering why I was on David Moyes compared to Arne Slot. Now, I can tell you, Alan, that all the other big content creators out there, FPL Raptor, Andy, all them, were all hopped on Arne Slot. Like they were all like going all about safety first. But I'm like, you know me, I like a little bit of risk in life. And I was like going, really, there is no upside. If somehow Everton or Bournemouth, or heaven forbid next week, Aston Villa and Wolves, if one of them gets a result against Liverpool, Arne Slot is no good. Like, he's not going to get as many points as like the other managers. So for me, hello Squid, how you going? Give us a wave. That cat is the bane of my existence. But at the moment, as I said, the Moyes versus Slot bandwagon is delicately poised. For example, if Arne Slot wins, say, 2-1, he'll end up on 18 points and Moyes will end up on 13. There won't be that much of a difference. But if, heaven forbid, Moyes actually gets some sort of a draw or a win against Liverpool, then Arne Slot all of a sudden becomes so much weaker compared to David Moyes. And I think we saw on the weekend, Wolves beat Aston Villa and Pereira got 20 points. If you'd had him as your manager, you got 20 points from the one win.
Yeah.
So the upside's huge. So that's why, like, for me, this week, I actually, because Trent Alexander-Arnold, right, have you got him in your team?
Yeah.
So he's a yellow flag at the moment. We don't know if he's actually going to make the second game for the Everton game. But if he doesn't make it, and then I potentially could move him out in like a -4 kind of move and bring in Arne Slot. I just feel like I can't see Liverpool winning 4 games in a row. Like, I just feel like they've got to have a slip up at some point, right? They've got to have a slip up at some point. And I don't want to be the person that has him as manager and all of a sudden he gets 2 draws and he gets like 2 points.
You know, they just don't want to take the risk, do they?
No, they don't. But like,
it's only Everton and Liverpool that have got double game weeks, right?
This week, and then next week it's only Liverpool and Aston Villa. So it's either Emery or Slot if you want the double game week. So my plan was, when this first chip got announced, I was like, I'm not spending it up on Arne Slot or anyone at the top because I've got my 3 Liverpool players, which I'm quite happy with, and I'm quite happy to take the gamble. The Ipswich at home fixture for Aston Villa, you would think, is a banker. It will be a bit like the David Moyes against Leicester. It's going to be 3 points, and then it's literally a free swing at Liverpool, and you hope for the best. I think one of them is going to come in. Let's check the chat. Is Emery 100% coming in? Mickey, on a scale of 0 to 100%, for me, Emery is at about 95% chance of coming in, 5% for Slot. So very close. Carl Valencia, hello. I won't be free hitting in 29. Use free transfers and a couple of hits to take out players to field and 11. Yes, that's my plan as well. What's your plan for game week 29, Alan, with the blanks?
Free hit. You know, free hit. That's the time to use. That's what it's there for. Do you know what I mean? The free hit's there for them blanks.
How many players you got blanking though at the moment? We'll have a look at your team in a bit.
What are the teams?
Let's have a look. So Aston Villa and Liverpool will be blanking, and then Crystal Palace and Newcastle potentially will be blanking as well. Highly likely, about 90% chance of them blanking.
It's Liverpool, isn't it? Liverpool. I've got like Liverpool assets, so
yeah, I've got 3 of them.
It's the Liverpool ones that are the problem.
Yeah.
And obviously they're big players, so that's that. Yeah, so it'll be like a free hit for those. I've also got Rodgers and I've got Sarr. So, I mean, there's 4 there.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there'll be 4 players there.
So
and
Mickey's...
I've got Isaac. So...
Yeah, I'm going to keep Isaac. I've got too much money invested in him. Mickey's just asked, what is the D in its plan for triple captain? Well, as I said last week, I was originally going to play it on Salah. Obviously, had to change the plan. Went with the assistant manager and went all in on David Moyes. So it means I can't play my triple captain now till game week 28 at the earliest. And I'm still eyeing off a potential double game week. Now, I don't know. Like, there's rumours that the blank game week 34, which is for the FA Cup semi-finals, where the teams that will be playing that weekend would be blanking, they might bring it forward to game week 33, or it could go to game week 36. But realistically, one of those weeks, I'm going to pick a triple captain, and the other week, I'll pick my bench boost. Like, those are the 2 weeks I'll be playing the bench boost and my triple captain. Alan, obviously, you have still got your bench boost?
Yeah, I've still got bench boost.
And you've still got assistant managers, so you should be doing, like, those game weeks. Either you play assistant manager this week and get the double this week, but I would recommend you hold it and then play it for the later game weeks and go your bench boost on the big one and then assistant manager on the other one.
Yeah, I mean... Oh, sorry. What I usually like to do is before a double game week, do like a wild card, and then on the double game week, bench boost into it. So, you know, essentially, if you do it right, you should have a full team of people, like
that's
everyone
right.
playing that are all like that, all have great fixtures.
Yep.
So that will be my goal, to look at the sort of next double game weeks and work out the best wildcard team. It won't be just yet, it'll be later on because my team's pretty good at the moment, but hopefully I can tee it up so I can get my team to a position where I'm like, right, I want to make some changes, wildcard it, and then bench boost into the double game week.
Yeah. Now, so we're going to quickly talk about... Oh, sorry. Carlos just said he's got TAA, Salah, Munoz, Mateta, and Isaac. That's 5 players, and he'll take out everyone except Salah. He must have bought Isaac late, because I feel like if you bought Isaac when I bought him at 8... I bought Isaac on wildcard in game week 12 at 8.4, and he's currently up to 9.5. So for me to want to trade him out, I'll be losing so much team value. It's just not worth it. Unless he actually realistically starts dropping massively in price, which I don't think so, because I think that Isaac will actually go quite well against Man City in 25. Now, let's talk about this man, Alan. Chris Wood. What are your thoughts?
He's an absolute legend. He's a Kiwi, which we love. But he's somebody that is just in form, mate. Like, he's just in form. Like, you know, you give him the ball in front of the goal and he'll put it in the back of the net. Like, and then you look at all these other strikers, and you see them all the time missing it, lobbing it over the bar, like putting it wide, like, you know, just fluffing it. Like, he ain't missing, mate. Like, he just makes it look so easy. Like, he's just in really, really good form. So, I'm really pleased. He's a beast, and I'm really pleased for all those people that jumped on him early, that have stuck with him, that didn't leave him on the bench.
Mate, I can't believe it. So 2 of the last 3 weeks, I've left Chris Wood on the bench, and the week I played him, he didn't get anything. He got 2 points, and then the other 2 weeks he got 9, and then he got 17. I've just called it horribly wrong, and I think it's about time I give the man some credit. Like, I've had him in my team for most of the season, where he's just popped off and made me so much money. The next 3 fixtures are hard, though. Like, Fulham away is not an easy team. Newcastle away on their day can be really good. And then it's Arsenal at home. Like, the next 3 weeks are pretty damn difficult.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
But I don't want to sell him. Like, I think I've come to the resolution I'm going to keep him. And then potentially, if Wissa doesn't start firing, Wissa will be the one that makes way in my team for Cunha. That's probably where I'm going to go. In terms of Mickey asking game week 30 for wildcard, yes, that's my plan at the moment. And I will be literally loading up on all the players that aren't that are blanking, that I want to have back in my team, so I can load up and go absolutely ham for the double game week. Nah, I can't sell Wood. He's dumped 17 points on my bench. We'll get into the teams in a second. I mean, that was the one call. I mean, that last 30 seconds where I was sitting there going, do I bench Wood? Do I bench Ahmad? And then the last second, I should never have taken on that double Man United attack. It was dumb. It was stupid. It was the worst decision in FPL I think I've made this entire season, outside of the Cunha transfer for 1 week where he got 1 point and went off in 45 minutes. But other than that, They are the two worst moves I've made all season, and I'm normally much better at making decisions. I don't know what got into me. I think the Man United fan got into me.
I'll tell you what got into you. Your little heart.
It did.
Your little red heart went, oh, Man United are going to do this. They're going to win. We're going to turn it around. Your little heart went, Man United are going to turn it around. And what did they do? They let you down. They're devils.
I can tell you that at the moment, Chris Wood, for me, I've got him. I could triple captain him against Ipswich in 29 on the blank game week. Could he get another hat-trick? You know the funny thing against that Brighton game? I saw the first goal go in, right, and I was sitting there and I was talking to the missus on the couch and we're watching the game, and I said, I can handle one goal. Yeah, Ashley, I can't...
I thought you were Ben.
What?
I thought you were Ben, mate.
So we're sitting there on the couch watching, and Ashley goes, why are you watching this game? I was like, going, because I've got Chris Wood on my bench and I'm scared that he's going to destroy me. And I was like, going, I can handle one goal. And we saw the one goal going, right? And we're sitting there and we're talking about in the second half. And I was like, look at this man. He's not quick. He's from New Zealand. He's 33. How is he scoring goals? And then as soon as I said that, he gets a tap in. And then 2 minutes later, he gets a dubious penalty. I was like, this is ridiculous. I was like, but when he got the hat-trick, I was like going, and then he was like on for 4. And I was like, going, I hope he gets 4. Like, just keep going. Like, this man, I just crap talked him. And he literally just started dumping.
Mate, I'll tell you what.
Literally.
There's a pub. There was a pub in the UK, yeah, that basically said every goal that Forest score, they'll give away a free pint.
Well, they would have been getting drunk.
Yeah. So the whole pub was smashed, mate. Like, literally, they gave away so many drinks. Like, good on them. Well done. But look, nobody called that. Nobody called 7 goals. Like, and do you know what? Well done, Forest. Like, I love to see it. It's boring seeing the same old teams.
I hope they win the league. I hope Liverpool fall over and Nottingham Forest ride in on a Chris Wood super coaster to the top of the table. I would love nothing more than to see that happen. Mickey just said, after Liverpool, realistically, he can score against anyone. I would agree. I think Chris Wood can literally score against anyone this season. I would even say he could score against, he could score against Arsenal at home. I wouldn't bet against him. I mean, the dude's on penalties as well. There's lots of avenues to points. Carl's just said Man City, Forest, Liverpool, West Ham, then blank. That's Newcastle's fixtures. I'm selling Isaac to Havertz. Controversial. I don't mind that. Havertz, because Arsenal didn't make any signings, guaranteed to start up front.
You know what? With Havertz, right, I think there's just something about his face that I don't like. I just don't like his rat face. And I just don't want him in my team. I don't know what it is. I don't know where. There's just something about him. I just don't like it. I don't like it.
No, that's fair. Now, the Aston Villa assets, Alan. Lots of people probably want to talk about them, so we'll whack them on there and we'll have a quick discussion about them now. So the 5 most relevant ones, I think, are Marlon, who likely potentially may play up front. If Ollie Watkins is going to miss the FA Cup on the weekend, by the way, so if anyone's wondering if he's fit, at the moment he's not. And it's a massive wait and see. That's why I wouldn't be selling Isaac for Watkins, because we don't even know if he's actually going to be. Well, we don't know if he's going to start 1, let alone 2, and then obviously after Ipswich. So the Ipswich and Liverpool games, obviously they hadn't added it to FPL when I made this earlier in the week. So, but they are together, Ipswich and Liverpool. If Ollie Watkins is fit, I think Unai Emery's chances of getting some sort of result against Liverpool go significantly up. If Ollie Watkins is out, they go significantly down. That's the way I read it. Yeah,
I think so. Looking at those fixtures,
they're not good. After this week, the Ipswich-Liverpool game, great. Chelsea at home, Palace away, Brentford away. They're not easy fixtures away from home. Palace are in pretty good form as well. I mean, they won 2-0 against us last week, Alan. I mean, it wasn't pretty.
Well, you said it. It was, yeah. Look, I think Rashford needs to come in against Ipswich and smash it and get a couple of goals. Chelsea, I think they'll struggle. Palace, as much as it pains me to say it, they'll probably do Palace. Brentford, they should do Brentford, and they'll lose against Liverpool. If they get a draw against Liverpool, great, but I doubt it.
Yeah, I mean,
who knows? Maybe by that point, Rashford will be doing bits and bobs. and Watkins will be back.
All I can sit there and say, like, the asset of all these, I don't own any Aston Villa assets, and I will be bringing in Emery most likely into my team on the assistant manager chip. The only asset that actually interests me out of all these 5 is Marcus Rashford. And the only reason why I'm saying this is not because he plays for Man United, but I saw what happened when Jesse Lingard went to a team that had the maroon and the claret or whatever it is, the claret and blue. He went to West Ham and he absolutely tore it up. In fact, Jesse Lingard, for a stretch there of 10 games, was actually the top scoring player in FPL for a significant amount of games in a row. And if Marcus Rashford actually has the motivation to deliver what we know he can deliver, which he did 2 years ago, scored 30 goals in the one season, then he could go ham. Mickey just said, how about Marco Asensio? Nah, not for me. He doesn't have the same sort of goal-scoring ability from what I've seen throughout his career at Real Madrid and then at PSG. I'm not sold on him. I just think that Marcus Rashford, the way that Villa play, if he hits the ground running, he could absolutely tear the league up. And at 6.6, he's dirt cheap as well. He's not expensive.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm just looking at my team to think: do I bring in Rashford? Where could I slot him in?
So those are the Aston Villa assets.
The problem is fitting him in. That's the problem. Like, where do I fit him in? I suppose I could get rid of Sarr, I suppose, bring him in and then put Wissa on the bench. Or actually, but then do you bench Isaac? Isak. Do you bench Isak against City?
I weighed that up. I weighed that exact thing up, benching Isak and then playing Bruno instead against Tottenham because Tottenham are rubbish. The problem is that Tottenham and Man United are both crap. Like, there's no... it could either be a 5-all thriller or it could be a nil-all snorefest.
I think I'm going to bring in Rashford, right, for Bants. I'm going to bring in Rashford. I'll swap Sarr out for Rashford. And then I'll put Wissa on the bench and I'll play Rashford. Because Isak, if there's going to be goals, he's going to score them, isn't he? He's so good.
Exactly.
So you can't bet against that, man. And yeah, like Man City, whenever we see City, we go, oh, City, like, they're so good. Are they? Like, they're not that great. They haven't been great this season. So, you know, I reckon Newcastle could do them. I agree.
I think Newcastle are a fairly good chance. I mean, the one thing I did get right at last deadline was getting rid of Phil Foden. He did blank against Arsenal, and the fixture run for City is not kind the next 4 weeks. McNaff's this is a really good question, Alan. Get your thinking out on this one. McNaff's just joined. Hello. Morning, gents. Got right benching headache this week. Mbeumo, Rodgers, Semenyo, Isak, and Wood. Bench one of them.
Right, so sorry, you cut out with one of that.
Sorry. So Mbeumo, Rodgers, Semenyo, Isak, and Wood.
Yeah, see, I've got them players, and like I was looking at it, like Semenyo, I don't think you can bench him because it's Southampton. So I think he'll get points. Wood, you know, like he's one of the top scoring players in FPL. You can't really put him on the bench. And look what happened to you lot this week, 17 points. Isak, that's what we're, you know, Isak, could you... I don't think you can bench him. I don't think you can bench him because if there's going to be goals, he'll be the one. And what was the other one?
Semenyo, but Semenyo's got Southampton and Rodgers has got the double game week.
See, that is a headache. I mean,
it's luck, pure luck.
Logically, it's between Semenyo and Isak. You've got to think. I would say Semenyo. Unfortunately, I mean, he's playing Southampton, but I would say Semenyo because I just think that Isak, is he on pens as well?
Yeah, Isak's on pens. See, the only one that's... Rodgers and Semenyo probably both aren't on pens. Rodgers got the double, so you're definitely going to play him. Semenyo's obviously got Southampton. The one that I would be more inclined to bench out of those 5 is actually Brian Mbeumo. Because, I don't know. I think that the West Ham, you don't know what you're going to get still with them. So for me, I think that's probably... I mean, it could be like me last week and you get a Chris Wood sitting on your bench for 17 points. It's just...
I didn't hear you. I didn't hear in Burmo, but yeah, in Burmo's the one. In Burmo's the one you want to bet. But you know, we say this now. Now this is the bit. As soon as we say this now, you know he's going to get like a goal and 2 assists or something. You know,
100%.
like that's just what happens. Like, but in terms of logic, that's what you would do.
Yeah. It is. It's a bit scary. Mickey's just said Patrick Dorgu played a good half today, had some assists for it and close chance. Now, I actually got up to watch the FA Cup game at 4 a.m. this morning. I've been awake since 3 a.m. And it's now 5, so I've had a long day to this point in time. Patrick Dorgu I actually thought was really good. The only problem I had was that he started Diego Dallo on the left when he's been crap there all season, and Patrick Dorgu was signed as a left wing back, and yet he played him on the right-hand side and played Dallo, who's a right-sided player, on the left. It made 0 sense. And then he hooked off Dorgu, who arguably was a lot better than Dallo in the first half at half-time. That just didn't make any sense to me at all. I would have thought he would have taken Dallo off. It was probably the one time I've sat there and wondered, what is Emery doing? It didn't make any sense. And Tottenham versus Man United, first time both teams lose. You know who loses most in the Tottenham Man United game, Alan?
Who?
The fans.
Yeah. Yeah. They're just having a shocker, innit? Both of them are just having a shocker. Like, you feel for them. You do feel for the managers in a way. Like, they're just having a shocker, mate. Like, but it's good to see the smaller clubs. It's good to see the smaller clubs doing well for a change.
Yeah, well-run clubs. Bournemouth killing it. Forest killing it.
Yeah, and for the fans as well. Do you know what I mean? The fans going up and down the country supporting these teams, Bournemouth and, you know, Forest and stuff like that. You know, Fulham, Brighton. It's good. It's good to see them getting wins and stuff. That's
it. I mean, like, let's have a look at the Liverpool assets. Now, which 3 of these do you have, Alan? I've got Salah, Gakpo, Alisson Becker, Alexander-Arnold, Luis Diaz and Kanade on the screen.
Yeah, so I've got Trent.
Yep.
And I've got Kanate. And I've got Salah.
So you've got the double up on the Liverpool defence as well. So it went pretty well first game. They kept the clean sheet. I don't know how they kept the clean sheet, but they did. So I was pretty happy with that. Alisson Becker, obviously, he matched the points from Jordan Pickford as well, which was quite handy in that first game.
Yeah. 9 points. Like, yeah, it's good.
By the way, did you see the FA Cup game overnight? Did you see the highlights? Have you watched them yet?
No, I ain't seen it.
When you get a chance, watch Harry Maguire's goal and tell me why the hell VAR is not in the FA Cup until the 5th round. He's about this far offside. It's like so obvious. The linesman's literally in line with Harry Maguire and somehow didn't give... I've heard all the jokes today about the fact that the refs just didn't want to sit for another half an hour of this crap, so they just let it stand.
Yeah, they're just fine. Yeah, goal.
Pretty much. It was bad. It was a shocking performance. Ruud van Nistelrooy, he dominated. Like, the problem is, I can tell you what the problem is, and this is why I'm frustrated as a Bruno owner, that Amron clearly, he must watch these games back after they've played, right? Like, most managers look back, they do the analysis of what worked, what didn't work. If you watch back any Manchester United game where Bruno Fernandes is in the midfield with Manuel Ugarte, Man United's midfield gets destroyed. The reason why? Bruno Fernandes can't tackle. That is not his game. He should be in the number 10 position, or he shouldn't be in the team as far as I'm concerned. And playing him there just means that Manuel Ugarte got absolutely overrun by a Leicester midfield, and Leicester are like in the relegation zone. Like, it was embarrassing. For 60 minutes, they just got absolutely slaughtered.
Yeah, shocking. Shocking. But his method, I don't know what his methods are. I mean, I don't know what he's trying to do. Like, I don't know.
What did you say about him before? What was you, that just what? They don't have any discipline. What was it?
Don't have any discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like some of the players, some of the big players, and that doesn't. It's not just about Man United. But it's these big players. I was more saying that about Rashford. Like, at the end of the day, if you're on 300 grand a week, like, you know, are you really going to run laps, you know, in training? Are you really going to put in 110%, or are you just going to do the bare minimum and just get your money? Like, Yeah, I just think that you need hungry people. It's like with football. It's like any job, that you've got to be doing the work, and the work is running. The work is running for the ball. It's chasing, like, running down every blade of grass. Like, if you're not doing that and being lazy, you're not going to win games. And that's why these big clubs are failing, because these big players are just not hungry enough, and the smaller clubs are. So.
Yep, I'm with you, Patrick. Yeah, we are horrible. Yes, Leicester are relegation, but so are we. Yeah, we're not far off it. I mean, we might actually challenge Southampton for the lowest number of goals scored this season. That's how bad Man United are. So yeah, in terms of the Liverpool assets, so the problem is if you buy any of them, and it's like the Aston Villa assets, you've only got 4 weeks of them. So you've got 25, 26, 27, 28. So 4 game weeks. Then you have to sell them or move them to your bench for game week 29 or free hit. So, if you make a transfer for one of those, most people realistically already have 3 Liverpool assets. And if you're in one of them positions, I would not be burning transfers to transfer one for another and then use 2 transfers to do it. So for example, I wouldn't be transferring Luis Diaz out for a Bournemouth midfielder and then transferring a forward to Cody Gakpo. I think that's a waste of 2 transfers. I think you're just better off rolling with whatever 3 players you've got, because you've obviously came to that reasoning for some reason. Just roll with them. But this is the problem I've got. So I was originally just going to hold Alisson Becker because Fabianski was playing in goal for West Ham, but now he's lost his spot to Areola. So now in game week 29, I'm not going to have a goalkeeper, so I'm going to have to trade Alisson Becker out. And the problem is we've got Southampton in game week 28 at home. Really, I don't want to be trading out my Liverpool assets. I might have to just save my transfers and then just transfer them all out in game week 29. Like Becker. Trent, I'm happy to get rid of next week because I don't like the player, and getting rid of him makes a lot of sense to me.
Why don't you like Trent?
He's overrated, man. 7.4 million for what?
Well, because he does he's on corners and he's he sets loads of stuff up. I mean, he does amazing balls. Space Raiders.
I love it.
Elite crisp right there, mate.
That
elite
is
crisp
quality.
Yeah, I know. I like him. I know you don't. I like him.
Yeah. Garnacho did look better when he came on today. I agree. The problem is Amarin's just. Højlund and Xerxes are just pathetic. They are pathetic excuses for strikers. I don't like bashing the team, but they are god-awful. If they could put me up front, Alan, I'm telling you, no word of a lie, I'd put in a better shift and I'd probably have more goal threat, and I'm 38 years old.
Yeah, probably. All right, do you think they're going to turn it around? Do you think Man United are going to turn it around?
I think our best chance this season of winning anything is the Europa League, but I think that our lack of ability to score goals is probably going to get us unstuck at some point, even during that campaign, because I think that the Europa League's just a crap league. There's no good teams in it. The fact that Man United are favourites and we're 13th in the league and we can barely score a goal says all you need to know about the quality in the Europa League. It's literally a free hit at getting a Champions League qualification, because that's the reward for winning it. Yeah. So, I mean, if Man United want to do it, realistically, I'm one of them ones I'd be resting the players in the league. We're not going to get relegated. We're not that bad. We're not that much better than the relegation teams, but I'd just be focusing on the cups. You've got to win. You've got to be in Europe next year, or else you're not going to be buying any decent players. So that's the way I look at it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Alan, this is the key question for this week. Unai Emery versus Arne Slot.
Emery looks like an estate agent in that photo.
He looks sexy, doesn't he? With his suit on and his tie.
Whoa! I told you you were Ben.
Here we go.
Yeah, he looks like he's going to sell me a house or some life insurance. He looks like he sells insurance. Yeah, Emery or Slot. Go on.
So, Emery obviously costs 0.8 mil. Slot costs 1.5, so you need to find the extra budget already for Slot, which is why I never liked going for Slot in the first place. I like the cheaper managers, and I was very happy when Spurs and Fulham didn't get the double and Spurs lost to Liverpool, because that meant that I only had to pay up an extra 0.3 mil to get in Unai Emery. He's 100% probably where I'm going to be going. I don't really see any kind of probability unless all their forwards get injured over the FA Cup, that I won't be going with Unai Emery. I think that there's more upside there. The table bonus is where it's at, Alan. I'm telling you, I'm going to chase it. I'm going to get it. And I could even tell you that the week after, I've already looked at the fixtures and I'm thinking about playing it on myself. Playing it on Ruud van Nistelrooy in the Leicester versus Brentford game. And Brentford obviously go away to Leicester. I just think that's a great fixture. I think there's table bonus on offer there. I think Leicester could do them.
Yeah, look, the point of the chip is to have a bit. Look, this is a game. It's about having fun, and I think like it's boring if you just play it safe all the time. Like I'm with you. I think I'd go Emery. Why not? Let's have a bit of fun with it. Like you say, that's the league. What you say? The league bonus or whatever. That's where the points are at. So yeah, I'd go Emery.
We just got the best question here. So Mickey's just asked, can you explain prices of managers? How is Emery cheaper than Ange? Well, that's a very good question. When I saw the manager prices come out, and Aston Villa is sitting in the top half of the table, and Unai Emery came in at 0.8 mil, and then Ange Postecoglou, who's sitting below Man United, is at 1.1 million, I was like, what? How did that happen?
Yeah, so come on, what's the answer then? What's the?
I personally believe that whoever is the FPL people that came up with the managers' prices or whatever, one of them just really wanted, either doesn't like Aston Villa and thinks Unai Emery is completely crap and just wanted to make him as low a price as possible to make him out that he looks like an absolute mug. Maybe he's a Birmingham City fan or something that did the prices, I don't know. Or he's a Wolves fan. They're Midlands clubs, aren't they? Or I just don't get it. I don't understand how he's 0.8 mil. Like, it makes no sense to me. He's like higher than almost every...
They must have done these prices like early in the season or something.
But Aston Villa have been in the top half of the table the whole season. It doesn't make any sense.
Oh, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
I can hear you.
Yeah,
they must have just done it early in the season. That's the only logical answer. You know, that somebody went, yeah, these are the prices. You know, based on the club or whatever. Maybe that. Where did Tottenham finish last season?
Below Aston Villa. Aston Villa finished in the Champions League places. Like, how does he 0.8 mil?
God. Somebody's been smoking crack.
Someone's had an absolute mare.
Yeah. Somebody's like, I don't know, odd.
The good news is that managers' prices don't go up. So it doesn't matter how many times you transfer them in or whatever, they don't go up in price. So they're fixed for the season.
Well, there you go. Well, there's your answer then, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
It's just a fixed price. They looked at it. They must look at the teams and go, these teams, these are the price of the managers based on the team, not necessarily the manager. And it's probably done maybe over like the last 3 or 4 seasons where the club finished or something like that.
Yeah, maybe. That's the only thing that would make any kind of sense. I mean, really, it should have just been a team chip, right? Like, just play it on a team. Because, like, yeah.
But you are playing it on a team.
I know, but like it shouldn't be like it should just be like a club logo. You're playing your chip on Manchester United and you're going to lose.
You have just wasted your chip.
You will get a grand total of 0 points.
Yeah.
So for me, it's Unai Emery. I think that he's got the more upside. I mean, as I talked about last week, Arnie Slot over the two doubles, realistically, the maximum amount of points he's likely to get is 44 points. It's probably already dropped below 40 with the fact he only got 10 points against Bournemouth. I don't think he's going to keep 4 clean sheets in 4 games. And I do think he will drop points in one of the... he could even drop points in both weeks, which would be beautiful because that means that my manager is going to be absolutely popping. I just think that for 0.7 million more and taking out a Liverpool player to do it, I just think it makes no sense to me. So for me, Unai Emery all day long. Now, our teams, Alan. Let's have a look at them. Talk us through your points so far. What have you got? So you've got 85 points at the moment.
Yeah, 85 points. So Pickford done me a solid. I brought him in, and he got me 9 points so far. So do you know what? I'll be happy, right? I would be happy with a 0-0 with the Everton and Liverpool game because I've got 2 defenders. I've got the keeper. Salah's already got me points, but you know I'd be happy with a 0-0 because But anyway, so Pickford 9 points, then Gabriel 2 points, flop. Kanate 6, Arnold 6, Rogers 1. Like I should. Do you know what? I'm kicking myself because I was actually going to swap him out for Sarr. So Salah obviously nice big 32. Sameo 2, bit of a flop. Palmer 6, Wood 17, Wissa 2, Isaac 2. So
your benches, you got your bench, but you got most of your bench right. I mean, Dunk -3 sitting on your bench.
Oh, shocker! Absolute shocker. I'm disappointed in myself because I should have played Sarr. I don't know why I didn't. You know what Rogers is like. He can come good and get you 12 points or whatever when he wants to.
Yeah, and then he has weeks where he gets you one.
Exactly. That's FPL.
It is.
But yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy this week.
So I'm also on the line of thinking I'll be very happy with a 0-0 draw between Liverpool and Everton because obviously David Moyes then would get 10 points. He would get 8 points for the draw and 2 points for the clean sheet, which would take him up to 22 points. Anyone with Arnie's slot would only get 15. So it's like automatically I've already scored 7 more points playing David Moyes. I then obviously have the double up Liverpool defence like you do. So realistically, I don't want goals to be going in. I would rather there be no goals. No goals.
Yeah, look,
I happily take it.
I think it's a good possibility. I think the players are probably a bit tired, and I think that it's the Merseyside derby, mate. Anything can happen.
It's the last one at Goodison Park as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's a big one.
It is. I mean, that's why I liked the idea.
Yeah.
Of taking Moyes on. I just think that he was going to be really good.
Yeah, I think you got that right. I think you played that chip well. I think he was a great shout.
Trevor's on it as well. Yeah, last Goodison Park derby. Yep, that's right. Yeah, it's mad. I can't believe they're changing stadiums. It'll be like Man United eventually at some point. There'll be no Old Trafford anymore. It'll just be a different stadium. I mean, my team's very similar to yours, Alan, except I had Milinkovic play instead of Gabriel, who, Milinkovic finally got me a clean sheet, which was what I was expecting 2 weeks ago against Southampton. But that was nice. Nottingham Forest defence. I finally got on board with that this season after talking about it for so much. I actually bought one in and that's actually been going fairly well. Hall against Robinson. I've got 22 points on my bench this week. It's insane. Robinson sitting on my bench with his 10th assist of the season. I could have played him over Hall. I just felt that Hall was going to perform better, but I did not expect Fulham to beat Newcastle. So, again, it's just unlucky. And then the Chris Wood, that was the decision that really hurt. I mean, I'd be on 96 points if it wasn't for Chris Wood sitting on my bench. If I'd left it the way it was, it would have been Ahmad on my bench, Chris Wood on field, 96 points, massive green arrow. Alas, it's a small red. Oh, well.
Yeah, you're having a shocker, mate. That's painful. 17 points on the bench is painful, man.
Imagine if Moyes gets a win though against Liverpool. I think I'd get a green arrow just. Because if he gets a win, he's getting 16 points if he gets a win, and then he's obviously scored to get the win, so that's going to be at least 17. If he keeps a clean sheet, that's 19. It could be a massive week for Moyes.
You're trying to make yourself feel better, Darius, about having 17 points on the bench. But I'm going to bring you back to reality and go, imagine though if you had Wood and Moyes done that, where you'd be.
Yeah, mad. I had some people had Wood and Mateta in their forward lines, and they combined for 30 points.
Nice.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, FPL's full of shoulda, woulda, couldas. Long as you get most of it right, you're fine. I say this all the time. You're not going to get FPL right every single week, because if you did, you'd go down to the bookies and you'd be putting bets on every week and you'd be a millionaire. The whole point is that it's a bit of a gamble. Yes, you can look at all the stats and all this stuff, but look, who was going to say that Forest were going to score 7 goals last week? Nobody. You just can't always call it. Do you know what I mean? That's the fun of it.
Yep.
You get it right sometimes, you get it wrong sometimes. You just got to roll with the punches, baby.
Couldn't agree more. I mean, how many transfers have you got in your team at the moment, Alan?
I've got 2, 3, I think. Or maybe I've probably got 3 now. 1 second. Transfers. Yeah, 3 free transfers.
What are your plans this way? How much money you got in the bank?
I got 0.8 in the bank.
Oh, you got enough money for Unai Emery, assistant manager.
Ooh. Maybe.
Exactly the right amount. Maybe it's a sign.
Maybe. Bring him in.
What moves have you been thinking about?
I was thinking about bringing in Rashford for Sarr.
For Sarr? Yeah, that you've got enough money for that. How much is your selling price for Sarr?
That's a great question. How do I work that out?
Go to transfers.
Yeah.
Transfer him. How much money you got?
Transfer, replace. 6.5.
So your selling price is 5.7.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're actually 0.1 off.
0.1 off Rashford.
You'd need to make another move.
Well, I could do something with maybe my defence with like Justin or something. I know I've got Justin in there.
How much is Justin worth now?
4.1.
Holy hell, he's dropped.
Or Flecking. I could get rid of Flecking.
Yeah, why have you got a 4.5 goalkeeper and a 5? That's a waste of money.
Yeah, I could get rid of Flecking.
Why did Alan not use a chip? Alan did not use a chip last game week because he had already used his triple captain. Tell the audience how when you use your triple captain.
I'm an idiot and I got gassed up at the start of the season and used my triple captain on Haaland, and he flopped and got me nothing. So that was one of the really bad decisions I made at the start of the season. I don't know what I was thinking of. Like you shouldn't use a triple captain or a bench boost unless it's a double game week. Like you save it for the double game weeks. I think I just lost my head and I was just like, I need to get some points, and I just made a really bad decision.
I think a lot of people tuned into like Raptor and that, and when they played their triple captain in that week as well. And
yeah,
I mean, it was just dumb. Like I've never played my triple captain in a single game week except the very first season I played FPL, and I played it the first week because I had no idea what the chip did. Ironically, I played it on Harry Kane, and Harry Kane scored a double, so it was actually a pretty good use of the chip.
Nice.
But it was just pure luck. I had no idea what the hell it was. I was like, oh, triple captain, how many times I get to play that?
One thing with FPL is you've got to have, what I would say to people if they're watching it, if they're just starting out or whatever, you've got to have a strategy in terms of a plan. Like, you can't play it week to week. You can't just look at it 1 week and go, oh, that's my team. And then you need to have a plan for like a couple of weeks. And that's why I think that your videos and this channel is really good, because you're doing all the research. You're the geek, geeking out with all the stats and doing all this stuff for people. But, you've got a plan for them double game weeks and go, right, I'm going to use my triple captain this week. I'm going to wild card this week, and then I can bench boost this week, and you can do them things to maximise. And like you can work towards transfers. Sorry, 1 second.
Oh, good. Alan's right though. Like originally, that was my plan. I'd organised like weeks ago that I was going to play my triple captain in 25 because it made the most sense to play it. Sorry, in 24. And then when I found out about the extra double, and I was like, going, oh, and I looked at the fact that there was table bonus on offer for both weeks, and I thought, I'm a sucker. I want to chase that. I like a little bit of a gamble, a little bit of a roll of the dice, and I had to change it on the fly. Thanks Premier League for that. Put me under a lot of stress last week.
Docker.
Cheers, man, Mickey. Thank you. I'm glad that I've been your go-to. I mean, like, ideally, I just sit there and like to be a bit different. To be honest, I listen to the other people that make videos, and I listen to their vids, and like sometimes I just have to skip forward because they spend half an hour waffling about one topic, and I'm like, going, you could have said that in about 2 minutes.
I like Andy. Andy was sort of the first FPL YouTuber that I watched, and I met him randomly in Bank. So he's always got a special place in my heart. I like his videos. I think he's a nice guy.
Yeah, I think he's a great guy as well. I just think he's gone massively off the boil this year. He's come up with the dumbest calls. Like, he justified Solanke for like so long, basically ignoring all the games he was out injured and basically saying, oh, he's returned in 8 out of 10 games. I was like, mate, he's missed 6 games. It's really 8 out of 16. And then obviously his obsession with Dominic Calvert-Lewin is just hilarious. Like,
yeah,
who would think that he is a good asset?
Yeah, so like I think like I like with his channel, like I haven't, to be honest with you, I haven't watched since we started doing this. I actually haven't watched any of their videos. Like I don't watch any of the videos. To be honest with you, I only watch your videos, Darius, which is a bit sad. I stick your videos on in the morning, getting ready for work, and like just listening to your voice in the background, rambling on about things. But I think that this channel, the good thing about this channel, and if anyone's watching it, is you can get involved in it. Like if you send a message on or comment, like we're going to talk about it. You know, we're going to answer the questions. Whereas these other YouTubers, they've got thousands and thousands of people. You're like, unless you're subscribed and paying money, you ain't getting your question answered.
Yeah,
and in terms of your rank, Darius, your rank is right up there. And also, we've got a little community. So we've got a WhatsApp chat. You can get involved in a WhatsApp chat and you can ask questions whenever. But we've got great people in the league that have really good scores. Yeah. Like Amit's right up there. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I think is good about this channel. You know, it's smaller, but your questions will get answered.
And actually, the trajectory it's going in at the moment is actually pretty good. I've been super surprised. I thought my aim at the start of the season was like, if I can get to 500 by the end of the season, I'm pretty happy with that. And the fact that we've still got probably another 3 to 4 months left of the season, I'm pretty happy with the way things are going.
Yeah, it's good. You put a lot of work into it, and the thing is, you put a lot of good videos up, which I like.
And I mean, learning the graphic side, man. The graphic side is the hard bit, like, because if you're not like, I'd never used like any kind of like, I'd never really used power. I should know these things because I'm a teacher, and like, I've always been a talker, and I would like to say an entertainer instead of an actual teacher. I bring kids on a journey.
Yeah, because that's what parents want to hear on Parents' Evening. I would say I'm more of an entertainer than a teacher with jazz hands. Like they're like, yeah, because that's what I want my kids to be entertained all day. Like I want them to learn stuff. No, I get what you mean. But I think, look, with learning, you know, there's visual, there's auditory, there's, you know, kinesthetic or whatever it is. But there's, you know, I think that you've got to have the combination. Like it's good. I think having the visuals are good. Like really simple, clear visuals are good for people to see, especially with players and stuff like that. And I really like the visuals you've done this week. I think they're good. Because the other thing is you know, sometimes you might be doing other stuff, you know, and you might be like having a video on in the background, and then you can just gaze over and look at it, and you can see stuff. Do you know what I mean? If it's all just talking and stuff, you know, sometimes people can lose track. So I think you need a bit of both. But I know how much work must go into it. But surely, if you set it up, then is it easier once they're set up? That you can just change them. So visuals?
Today I was sitting there because but prior to this week, like we're literally just talking crap now. So if you want to put anything else in the chat, we will answer questions. We're literally going to talk now about how I put together my new team selection video, which you'll see for the first time next week, Alan. It took me forever to come up with this thing. It was doing my absolute head in because like you can't use. Like he could have used the one on the FPL website, but it's like the FPL one, right? So I've created one where like you get the players' places, and like the initial setup, no word of a lie, took me about 2 hours today. But now that I've got the template there, it should be a matter of just rinse and repeat every week. Yeah. And in terms of like the moves I've done, I've obviously done like the transfer in. Slide as well, which I shared in the chat before. So those ones will be easy. It will just be like replacing the players week to week with with the moves that I'm making. But like the initial setup, like you've actually got to teach yourself how to do it and like what looks good. Like so for me, I'm like going, I do it, and I'm like going, do I like that? Do I like the way it looks? If I don't like the way it looks, I don't want to do it.
No, I think look, with all these things, it's trial and error, and it's some things will work, some things won't, and you're learning while you're doing it. It's good. It's getting better every week, Darius. It's getting better every week, mate.
Ever since I got back from the UK, I've been every week I'm like going, all right, I'm going to create a different template for this video. So that now I've got the templates for like the preview, I've got the templates for team selection, and then the other ones my plan is tomorrow to do like my differential videos are going to look very different next week. I might end up recording it tomorrow depending on how much I can get the template done tomorrow, but essentially I'm going to still cover like all the players on the differentials, but I'm actually going to like cover them like with the two top ones that I think are the two best in each position for each week, and then I'll cover the rest in like a blanket sort of thing, because I think that like lots of people sit there and every week go, oh, who would be a good transfer in, etc. Like for example, like I actually think Marcus Rashford is actually a really good transfer in this week. If I had more than one free transfer, I would 100% be willing to take a risk on Marcus Rashford hitting the ground running, because I just feel like he's going to fit Aston Villa's game style, and I feel like Morgan Rogers, the way he plays, could unlock Marcus Rashford, whereas at Man United, there's just no creativity in the team. They play at a snail's pace. Rashford's all about quickness, and the way Aston Villa play, they're much quicker when they go forward.
And also, it's double game week, baby. So
it is.
If you're going to do it, may as well do it this week.
Exactly. I mean, so for me, it's like Moyes. I am going to be taking a -4 because I've actually bought in Kluivert in my team for Ahmad. I was sick of the Man United double up. They've been doing nothing, and I weighed up. I was like, I either get rid of Bruno, get some more money. But then, what do I need the money for? Like, where am I going to spend it on? I've just got rid of Phil Foden, which gave me money to literally Brian and Buemo last week. So I don't need the money for anything else, because I'm just going to be spending it on managers, and the managers aren't going to be costing me very much. So then it was just a matter of like, well, what do I go with next? So for me, I was like, I'll keep Bruno because he's on penalties, but now I'm benching him. So I'm like, what's the point of keeping him? But I've got in Kluivert for Ahmad, and I'm very happy with that. You've obviously got Semenyo. I've got Kluivert.
Yeah.
I think you've got to have a Bournemouth midfielder moving forward. They're just so good.
Yeah. I love Kluivert. He's so good. He's really good. I should have jumped on him earlier, really.
I wouldn't worry though. Semenyo's got very comparable data. If it wasn't for the penalties, Semenyo would actually be beating him, like in terms of points. If it wasn't for the penalties, Kluivert would actually be behind Semenyo. Obviously, but I would say though, over the last month or so, Kluivert actually looks like he's becoming a bit of a talismanic player for Bournemouth in the absence of Van Linson, and his minutes are now looking really good. So I don't know, can he keep it up? I'm hoping he can, because he's straight into my team and straight into the starting lineup next week, and then obviously Moyes will be moving for most likely Emery. The other possibility is potentially if Trent is injured, I could move Trent out in a -8 move, and that is the only possible way where slot potentially becomes an option. But I'd probably be more likely just to roll Trent to like a Canade and bank the extra 2 mil.
Do you know what? I just had a thought of what would be a good visual to create.
Yeah.
Like, like a strategy, like a week strategy. So create like a visual with the weeks, and then have like the best time to sort of like on the double game weeks, like wild card, bench boost, like whatever, like your chip strategy, essentially, like what you spoke about.
Yeah. See, originally when I did that, because like I obviously released a chip, and I was like, I was in the UK, and like I can't do what I'm doing in these videos off my laptop. Like it's not possible.
Yeah.
I need an extra screen. Like, whereas here I've got, so like my setup at the moment, I've got the massive, what do you call it? It's the Samsung 57-inch round curve monitor. It's massive. Like, I just can't describe how big my monitor is. I've split it in two, so I've got 2 inputs in. So I've literally got 2 screens on the one, and then I have this little mini screen inside my actual computer, which is like a little portrait screen. Yeah, I know.
Whoa.
So I can like whack stuff on there, and then it just makes like making the videos so much easier. And then obviously the visuals, like it's just night and day. Like you can tell the difference, like from my using this computer to my laptop, because the laptop brightness and that is just not the same. It's not comparable.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Look, if Trent injured TAA to Timber and just quickly, if Trent's injured TAA to Timber and Moyes to slot, I would say that's a really good move. I actually did think that if Trent was injured, I could potentially go back to Timber because Timber was what became Trent.
What's up with Trent then? What's he done to himself?
Well, he went off of a fire. Some people commentated that potentially it was a hamstring. It definitely looked like a fire. It's been reported as a fire injury. Now, fires can be... I'm not sure. Have you ever done your fire?
Never done my fire, but I tell you what, I do like chicken thighs in Nando's.
Yeah, they're good. I've actually done my fire on my quad a couple of times, but it's never kept me out more than a week. So unless he's really torn it, I think he should be back for Everton, to be honest with you. I honestly believe he should be back for that.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully.
That's it. Yeah. So what do you got planned for the rest of the weekend? Are you going to watch any FA Cup?
Yeah, probably. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Straight after I get off this video, I'm going to eat some Chinese that I had from last night. I've been thinking about that since I woke up this morning.
That sounds good.
So I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to go see my aunt. And then I'm just gonna chill this weekend. I'm just gonna chill. I don't want to do nothing. There's a party tonight. I was gonna go to it, but I'll just be really late, and I had a late one yesterday. So I think I'm just gonna chill at home, have a nice, quiet, wholesome weekend. Get back in the gym next week. So yeah, I'll probably be watching a bit of football. What about you?
I've been pretty good. I've been smashing the gym ever since I got back. The first week back, I struggled to get back into it because it's been like a month, like just a month excessively drinking and going to the football and all the rest. But once I got back and I got over the jet lag, I went like 3 times the first week. And the last 2 weeks, I smashed out about 6 sessions each week. So the body is responding quite well. And yeah, that's good. And then obviously we started work like this week, so it's been mad. Ooh. I've been like trying to like balance life in terms of doing work, coming home, and then making the video. So like that's why the upload's been a bit later in your day. Normally I have it up by like 7 a.m. It's been going up about 9 a.m. because I've literally done it when I got home. But the weather here's been stupidly hot, like 40 degrees all week, Alan, and it's 43 tomorrow.
40 degrees, Scorchio.
What's it there?
It's probably about, well, it's been cold. So, like, yesterday was horrible. Yesterday was like 3, and it was like hail and rain and like just icy wind and hail. And it was just wet yesterday. It was horrible. Today's like 5 degrees, 6 degrees.
Mad.
It's miserable, mate. Miserable weather.
Now, Alan, you're not joining me for the deadline stream next week because it is, ironically, on Valentine's Day in the UK. However, in Australia, it's not on Valentine's Day. It is early in the morning on Saturday morning. So I'll be on for a deadline stream next week. Alan, unfortunately, I don't think will be joining me. Is that correct?
It's Friday night, mate. Like, I don't want to say I'll be on it. Realistically, I'm not. Like, so I won't be.
He'll be on it, but
and I think it's Valentine's evening, so I think people will be out with their partners doing stuff. But you will be there.
I will be
like a loyal servant.
So if you want a date next week, make sure you tune in.
All you need to do, right, is just put your AirPod in, right? Stick your phone on the table, turn it over, and just listen while you're having dinner. Do that.
I like it. Solid. Solid.
Just be like, sorry, babe. One sec. I just got to nip to the toilet and quickly do your transfers and come back again.
Make sure you don't forget the deadline.
Yeah,
because it's on Friday night.
Do you know what? Do you know what? Don't forget the deadline. Don't forget it's Valentine's Day, and don't forget the deadline. Yeah,
that's it. You can't afford to do that. If you do have a missus in your life, mate, you know what I did? I've hopefully she's not watching this, but I've ordered a coffee mug because Ashley likes a cup of tea in the morning. So I got a couple of photos of us on this mug, so hopefully she likes it.
Oh, that's cute. You softy. That's lovely.
You know what I was originally going to do? I was going to get an FPL D unit mug made up for her, but I didn't think she'd appreciate it.
No, I don't think she would. Like, no, here you go. Here's some merch. Happy Valentine's Day. Here's some merch. Tell your friends about me.
That's it, 100%. By the way, have you had many of them cards out?
Do you know, I haven't. I've got them here though. I have got them here. But I haven't really bumped into anyone that like does FPL that I've talked to about FPL. So maybe I'll tell you what. Maybe I'll give them out to some of the kids. Give them out to some of the kids.
Kids will love it, mate. They want to play FPL. Like most of them are probably better than us. I think Charlie that's second in the league worldwide. The bloke that's second is like 14.
Is he?
Yeah, he's a young kid. Yeah, he's a young kid. He's doing super well.
Oh, nice.
But you want to know why that is? Because kids are more inclined, like me, to take risks. They don't play it safe. So, like, they go for, like, the Chris Wood captains and stuff like this because it's a bit different and they go, YOLO, let's just do it.
Yeah, love that. Yeah, do you know what? 100%. Well, look, I hope it continues for him. I hope he wins it. That'd be amazing. He obviously knows what he's doing because, taking risks, they do pay off, but also you've got to be consistently good every week. To be in them kind of stats, you've got every week be consistent. You can't have, like, bad weeks.
That's it. All right, Alan, on that note, I will let you go and you go and enjoy your weekend. We'll hopefully catch up before next Friday with some luck.
Yeah, message me. We'll sort something out. We'll jump on some vids or something. We'll make it happen.
Sounds good. I'm going to hang around a little bit longer for anyone that is still interested and you've got some more questions. I'm going to go through blank game week 29 and try and explain it. So, Alan, watch us back because blank game week 29 is going to be upon us in a couple of weeks.
All right, lovely. I'll stick it. Do you know what? I'm going to log off this and stick on the live stream. How sad's that? That's like... But I'll have you on. All right, mate. I'm going to shoot.
All right, mate. Enjoy that Chinese.
See ya.
See you, mate.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
All right, so look, in terms of blank game week 29, I'm going to talk a bit more about it now because I just realized that my video that I uploaded yesterday actually has a bit of audio problems with it. I'm not sure what was going on with my microphone. I actually was mucking around with it earlier today and it didn't go that well. Palmer should give me that proper Valentine's Day gift. Yeah, he's well due a beautiful gift for us all right here. I couldn't agree more. Realistically, whoever's on my bench this week, the best Valentine's Day gift I could get this week is my bench combines for a grand total of about 5 points. Like 2, 2, and 1. That's what I want to see on my bench this week. I don't want to be seeing 22 points on my bench again this week. That will make me not very happy. That's my Valentine's Day wish list. Just no points on the bench this week that I regret leaving on the bench. But yeah, let's have a look at like blank game week fixtures and what they actually look like. So these are the fixtures. I mean, guaranteed Aston Villa and Liverpool are blanking in game week 29. They are 100% gone. Like they are not going to be here at all whatsoever. Newcastle versus Palace at the moment. This all depends on whether Newcastle and Palace get through to the quarterfinals. No, the semi-finals or whatever it is of the FA Cup. If one of the two make it to that particular point in time, there is no way this game will be in game week 30. Sorry, game week 29. Quarterfinals. Oh my God, I've lost the plot. Sorry. Game week 29, quarterfinals of the FA Cup. Realistically, one or maybe even both of the way they're both playing will make it to the quarterfinals, which means that this game will also be a blank in game week 29, which means there'll only be 8 fixtures and 16 teams. Now, we'll talk about what that looks like for my team very shortly, but it is something to keep in mind because if you are interested in Crystal Palace assets, Aston Villa assets, if you're bringing them in, and you're not going to free hit in game week 29, you're then going to have to waste another transfer taking them out. So that's going to be 2 transfers in the next four weeks where you've only got 4 free transfers unless you've saved them up to make moves like that. So it doesn't make a hell of a lot of sense in terms of that. But look, realistically, the only reason why I've even got any Man United players in my team still at the moment, and that's why Bruno's still in there, is because Man United have got Leicester in this fixture. Now, Leicester Bruno obviously got a dubious assist because Harry Maguire was miles offside. But it's just why there's no VAR in the FA Cup in this round is mind-boggling, especially when it's English Premier League team. I thought it was mind-boggling the last time in the last round when we played Arsenal and that penalty was given, and it was an absolute that was a pathetic penalty. Don't even get me started on that. But I suppose it's like swings and roundabouts, right? So we got a horrible decision and VAR couldn't intervene against Arsenal, and we get a real gift against Leicester overnight, and it just goes the other way. It's just one of those things, unfortunately. Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you get it wrong. Southampton Wolves, that fixture is interesting. I feel like Cunha in game week 29 is a player that I want in my team. Now, realistically, I want to bench Isaac in that week. I want to play Wood because Wood obviously has Ipswich, and that looks also amazing, which means that Wissa, who's probably playing the Bournemouth fixture, is probably the player that I want to get rid of for Cunha for game week 29. Like, that is very early plan, 4 weeks away, but that's definitely a transfer I want to have happen. And if Wissa doesn't perform this week or next week, it'll be a very easy transfer for me to get rid of him. I mean, if he doesn't actually perform the next 2 weeks, that's 4 weeks where I expected returns pretty much every week. Get me none. So that's definitely disappointing. Will you change manager in game week 26? Yes, 100%. Ruud van Nistelrooy is definitely in the firing line for me. We'll have a look at those fixtures in a second. I might just see if I can bring them up. You'll have to bear with me because it's going to be a little bit messy because I don't actually have that open because I wasn't actually intending on using a web browser today. I'll use that for next week. The other fixture that catches my eye here is the Man City-Brighton game. Now, realistically, I would like to potentially have Phil Foden back in my team for game week 29 and beyond. If not 29, definitely game week 30. City's run to the end of the season looks incredible. Even Marmoush could be an option around this time as well. He's 7 mil, and like Cunha's, I think, going to be probably closer to 6.6, 6.7 at this time. There's not going to be much difference between them. It could be a little nice differential. Definitely something I'm eyeing up. Let's put it that way. I am definitely watching City to see how they go over the next few weeks now that I don't own Phil Foden anymore. Yeah. Ruud van Nistelrooy. Ruud van Nistelrooy has Brentford at home, and I just got a sneaky suspicion that the man... Like, Ruud van Nistelrooy looks like me. I've got to back my own man in. I actually felt sorry for him coming to Old Trafford with Leicester and getting done like that this morning. I actually felt very sorry for him. It was painful to watch. Being a United fan, it was just painful to watch for 90 minutes. I'm actually glad I didn't have to sit for another 30 because I was ready to just sit there and go, oh, mate, just put me to bed. In terms of the Crystal Palace assets, now lots of people have lots of these players. I have none. I have no Crystal Palace assets at all. And Mateta looks amazing. Mateta's been really good the last 4 or 5 weeks. Eze's been good, except he's been injured. He's unlikely to play on this weekend either, which makes him a serious doubt again for next weekend. Sar's minutes, though, now have improved because Eze is not in the team. So... I don't know. Those two players, but it's really Munoz. Munoz and Mateta just look incredible assets at the moment. Like, Munoz is a player I would love to bring. Like, realistically, I'd love to get rid of Trent and bring in Munoz next week after the double. But Munoz is going to be blanking in 29. Fulham away, Aston Villa at home. I feel like those two teams potentially will score as well. And then I'm relying on Munoz getting attacking returns. Not something I'm too keen to really... take on, but from in wildcard and 30, Munoz is definitely in my line of thinking, knowing that he'll definitely have that double as well. Yeah, I just think he's a great option moving forward. Henderson, lots of people do have him as a cheaper goalkeeper. He's actually been super good as well. A lot to love there, but again, you're going to have to move your goalkeeper. If your second goalkeeper is Fabianski like me, you're going to have to make a goalkeeper transfer, or you're going to have to roll with 0 points from your goalkeeper, which realistically, with the way goalkeepers have been going this season, unless they keep keeping clean sheets, they're not normally keeping many points anyway, so you may not lose out on that many points. Maybe it's not actually worth another transfer. I've actually used so many transfers on my goalkeepers this season, it's ridiculous. I think I've used 5 transfers at time accounting. I started with Henderson, went to Raya, went to Kelleher, went to Verbruggen, went to Allison. That's 5 transfers. No, 4. 4 transfers. That's insane. 4 out of 24 weeks have been wasted on goalkeepers. Ridiculous. Yeah, in terms of the Newcastle assets, lots of people have Isaac, lots of people have Gordon, lots of people have Hall, some people have Murphy. Now, I'm potentially going to just keep Hall and... Isaac, I think they'll be good options moving forward. I really like them. I just think like the next 4 fixtures are not good. Well, the next 3 fixtures are pretty damn awful, to be fair. Man City away, Nottingham Forest at home, and Forest have that really good defensive record. I feel like Newcastle probably will score against them though at home. And then Liverpool away. We saw what happened at the Liverpool at home game. That could be very close to it's going to be a couple of weeks before the Carabao Cup final. Maybe Newcastle don't want to give away all their hints and maybe deliberately lose this game. I'm not sure. Do you keep your free hit after playing a chip such as wildcard, free hit, or triple captain? Your FT. What? What do you mean by your FT? Your full team. Yeah. All right, sorry. I think that's what you mean. Full team. So if you play a free hit, for example, I'll show you what my team looks like in a second. For me, I would probably sell Gordon and Murphy. I'd probably keep Isaac and Hall. Most people have a lot of money like me invested in them. In terms of so for example, if I had changed from the left-hand side of the screen, which is my current team, to Allen's in a free hit, the next game week afterwards, it would revert back to my team that I had the week before. So free hit, it doesn't change your team. It only changes your team for 1 week. Wildcard changes... Oh, so your free transfer. Sorry, my bad. You keep your free transfers if you've accrued, but you won't gain the transfer for that week. So, for example, if you had 2 free transfers and then you played your wild card, the week after your wild card, you would only still have 2 free transfers, if that makes sense. You wouldn't have gained the third one from your wild card week. Hopefully that makes sense. Free hit, I'm not sure because I've not actually used my free hit. Triple captain, you definitely get your free transfer. So if you had if you had 2 free transfers, played your wild card, you would then the next week, as long as you hadn't made any, you would have 3 free transfers. With the free hit, I've actually got no idea. I know you don't lose them, but I'm not sure if you gain 1 for that week when you play your free hit. Good question though, because I know for wildcard you definitely don't gain 1, but you keep whatever transfers you had prior to wildcard. So for example, I went into game week 12 with 2 free transfers. I exited. So for game week 13, I had 2 free transfers. So I didn't gain 1, but I still had my 2 free ones. Yeah, good question though. I like that. Nice thinking. So my team moving forward at the moment for the blanks, I have 5 players affected by them. So I've got Isaac, I've got Hall, I've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, I've got Alisson Becker, and I've got Mo Salah. So I really need to get rid of 2 of them. The 2 that I'm probably most likely to get rid of, because I don't have any team value tied up in them, is Trent Alexander-Arnold and Alisson Becker. Lewis Hall I bought at 4.4 mil. He's up to 5.1. Likely will drop to 5. Isaac I bought at 8.4 and he's up to 9.5. 9.5. There's no way I'm selling Isaac. I've got so much. He's like Mo Salah. No way I'm selling Mo Salah. I bought Mo Salah when it was like 12.6. He's up to 13.7. Like, just not going to happen. It's just throwing away team value. And there's no point. But like, other than that, those 3 players, they will be my 3 players on my bench. And then I'll have to waste 2 transfers on Becker and Alexander-Arnold. And then I've got to waste a transfer on getting rid of whatever manager I go for this week in game week 25 for a manager in game week 26. And then that means I'll have 1 free transfer between now and game week 29 for any other issues that pop up, which realistically is likely to be Wissa to Cunha or Wissa to someone else. It's just a matter of where I want to go. I really like the idea of bringing back Phil Foden as well for 29, and potentially that could be for Brian and Buemo. It's just one of those things. I've got to think about it. And in regards to Trent, I have been thinking about getting a double up on the Bournemouth defence, like Hodgson with Kirkes and then obviously Kluivert in my midfield. I've actually got Kluivert already in my team. He's there instead of Ahmad. So when you're looking at my team now at the moment, Ahmad's no longer there. It will be Kluivert on next week. I've already made that transfer because I didn't want to get priced out. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. I'm actually quite happy with the way that the team is looking long term. I mean, if it wasn't for Chris Wood this week, I would be very happy manager this week. I'd be sitting nicely inside the top 10. Instead, I'm inside the top 16. It's just what it is, isn't it? Really, can't get too salty about it. The man's been brilliant for me all season. Can't get annoyed that he dropped 17 on me the week I decided to last second put him on the bench. It's just one of them things. All right, I'm going to wrap this up in about 5 minutes. So if you've got any other last-minute questions, please whack them in the chat. I've got to go. I'm actually going to a Coldplay tribute band today. They start at 7 o'clock, so it's 6:26 now. Wrap this up in about 4 minutes. Then I'm going to go down there, have a couple of drinks, watch that, think about what I want to put in my differential templates for the video on Tuesday. Well, it might come out Monday, it might come out Sunday, it might come out Tuesday. I really don't know at this point. It's just a matter of how much time I get to work on them and when I'm happy with them. So hopefully that will look good when I eventually get there. Look, I've actually thought about who I'm going to bench this week. So look at my team this week and tell me who I bench out of this. So Kluivert's obviously in instead of Ahmad. He's got Southampton away. He's on penalties. Brian Mbeumo has got West Ham away on penalties. Mo Salah's got the double on penalties. Bruno Fernandes has got Tottenham away on penalties. Cole Palmer has got Brighton away on penalties. Isaac has got Man City away on penalties. Chris the Woody Woodpecker has got Fulham away on penalties. And then Wisser is the only one not on penalties in my team, but he's got West Ham away. I feel like he's due a return. I feel like whoever I bench this week is going to just get a score on me. It's just a matter of how many points they're going to dump on me in the bench. And 100% I'll get it wrong. I got Wood wrong, horribly wrong on the bench. Oh, for a second there, I thought it was raining. I was like, what? It's 40 degrees. It's raining again. Are you kidding me? It's not. It's not raining. Stress less. But yeah, that's just my thought process moving forward. I just hope that it works out. Realistically, on the assistant manager chip, I didn't expect... Well, it's hard. When you're sitting top 10K, it's hard to get green arrows, right? There's only so many people you can overtake from that position. But... my top rank so far this year has been 6.1k. Ideally, I'd like to get back on there on the assistant manager chip. So I'm really hoping that Moyes comes in. If Moyes comes in, I'm looking really pretty. Emery looks like a very good shout. If Moyes, everyone expects Everton to be accounted for by Liverpool. If he doesn't come in and I'm behind points, 8 points on that, it's not probably going to be that bad because I obviously have 3 Liverpool players, which will be covering it. And if they keep it clean, ideally, it's a 0-0 draw. That is the best case scenario for my team. And then maybe Becker and Trent get some bonus points because it's a 0-0 draw. Mo Salah's triple captain won't be hurting me because he'll be blanking and getting a 3-point. That's the best case scenario. But 24, I think, is one of them weeks where I just go, yeah, that was a little bit poor. Ideally, I'm setting my team up for 30, and wild carding in 30. If you get the wild card right in game week 30, you're going to finish in the top 100k. If you stuff it up though, the second one, and last year I stuffed it up. I played my second wild card so late. I played it in game week 36 last year because I wanted to be a bit cheeky, and everyone else last year, I think the popular game week to do it was game week 35 because there was a double on 37. Whatever week had the double, I played it the week before, thinking I was going to be a bit more clever and wait an extra week. Well, I missed out on the points from the week before, and I went to the same players as I would have the week before, and it ended up costing me just outside the top 100k. I ended up 110 or 111k, so not ideal. So it is imperative that you're thinking forward, planning that, and looking at the fixtures. So playing game week 29, I think is going to catch quite a few managers out because they're not going to be aware of how many players they've actually got blanking. And then they either have to take hits to get rid of them if they haven't forward planned enough, which is why I don't really want to bring an Aston Villa player in. Because if I bring him in, I have to get him back out. And I don't even know who I'd move. I think Bruno Fernandes would be the one. If I move Bruno Fernandes to Rashford, though, I want to play Rashford instead of someone, and then I don't know who I'd be playing. It's all just luck of the draw at this point. Are you just hoping for the best? Realistically, of my team, maybe I've debated about putting Isaac on the bench this week. As I said, Wiss is the only non-penalty taker. Potentially, he could end up on the bench. It's just a matter. I think it's going to come down to deadline day and just be well, that's the way the cookie crumbles, I'm just going to throw it out there. My best time, I've gotten better in FPL every season. Last season was my best. I finished 111k last year. So just outside the top 100. I was like, at some point in the year, I actually the reason why I finished it just outside is because the first wild card I played was I played it in game week 19 or whatever the last game week is you can do it. It was game week 19. I played it then, and my team was perfect. Like I was sitting like top 10, no, not top 10, maybe like top 40k from like game weeks 14 through to 18. I was like, well, if I don't play it now, I lose the wild card. So I was like, I've got to play it. And I was like, that means I've got to change my team somewhat, because why else would I play it? I would have actually been better off if I'd just let that wild card expire, because my team actually, I changed my team and it got worse. And if I'd left it the exact same way I'd had it, I would have probably stayed where I was and probably definitely would have finished inside the top 100k. So sometimes wild cards, you can overthink them. Luckily enough, this season, when I did it in week 12, I called it perfectly. I was weighing up a Haaland draft. I was weighing up the 3 template. That was before the 3 template mids was a thing. And I had Saka, Salah and Palmer pretty much before anyone else did, really. So I got those extra points. Plus, I captained Saka the first week I bought him on wildcard, and he got 18 points, which was absolutely, like, it was just really... It was just such a good call. It was like, that was one of my best calls of the season. Chris Wood this week has been one of my worst. But yeah, sometimes the risks pay off. Sometimes they don't. They do generally even themselves out across the season. The Phil Foden punt definitely worked out. I didn't get the blank this week. I moved him on. But unfortunately, Brian and Burmo also blanked, so it didn't really make much of a difference. I could have just saved the transfer and just rolled with it. But yeah, that's it. So, yeah, look, that's 6:33. I've got to get going. Thanks for joining us. I will be back for a live stream next Friday. Sorry. It's Friday night UK time, which I think, from memory, the deadline is, I would imagine it's 6:30. Yeah, 6:30, which means that the deadline stream will start at 4:30 p.m. UK time, which means it'll be 12:30 in the morning, Saturday morning for me. So I'll just stay up for that. I'll be pretty tired though, because I'll be full day at work as well. So yeah, hopefully if you've joined, leave us a like. Make sure you smash the subscribe as well if you haven't already done that. And just keep the channel growing. And tune in. There will be quite a few videos this week. I'll definitely have a differentials one out. That'll be the next one that comes out. I'll then have an updated chip strategy, and then I'll have transfer tips, and then a team selection. So 4 videos between now and Friday, and the deadline day stream there. I'll put out a couple of shorts as well for a little bit of information. One of them will be dropping very shortly with some updated early thoughts ahead of game week 25 deadline. All right, thanks for joining. That's me. I'm stopping waffling, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching.